Hello, and welcome to Inside the Tornado, Brevard's very own talk show where we invite very special student athletes to come and take a dive into their lives. I'm your host, Alex Bolton, and I ask you to please hold on as we take a step inside the tornado. Today's tornado is a very special one. We have a category here, inviting on today senior women's lacrosse number 12, Zan Hill. How you doing today, Zan?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely amazing. I'm glad to have you on today. I appreciate you for joining me. Before we get into all the antics and all the getting deeper into knowing you, the first question I have for you today is one I ask everybody. A very deep question that everyone answers, and they all answer in a very unique way. And so today, Zan, I want to ask you, who is Zan Hill?
Oh, Lord. That's a very tough question. So who I am is a leader on and off the field, in the classroom, and a person that brings like a smile to everyone. You can ask all my friends if I'm around. I'm either laughing or smiling. I never have like a dull moment. If I do, I keep it behind a closed door, and around people, it's a laughy, giddy, always happy girl. So, and also just like a hardworking person that is like consistent with what I do. So like putting the work in on the field and in the classroom, constantly working with like the Student Success Center and doing different things around campus. So I would say like I'm a very hard worker, and like I have a lot of grit in what I do. And when I want to do it, I'm gonna do it in that moment and not hold back.
Awesome. Okay, that's one of the longest ones I've gotten. Not a bad one. I think that's good. Did you pre-think about? Have you had ever sit down and think about that before?
No.
That's hit you all right there?
Yep.
Oh, great job. I appreciate that. I feel like I know Zan Hill better now. Well, Zan, before we get to know a little bit more about you and the things you do around campus and your experience here, Brevard, we have to start out with we always start out here on the Inside the Tornado podcast. And that's a very special game. Today's game I have for you is one that we've actually played here with some other guests before, but this time we're going to play with you. Today is called Debate Me. So basically, I'm going to give you these questions. I have 5 of them ready for you right now. And you have to pick a side or stance on this topic. And I need you to sit here and defend your personal opinion on this in the best way you can. I'm not going to question you or how you feel about it. I'm just going to add depth to it. But I'd like to hear why or why not you feel a certain way about these topics. Are you ready? I heard your opinionated, so let's hope this goes well. For question number 1, or topic number 1, we have mental health is talked about more, but not actually understood better. Do you think that's a true statement, or is that one that you would like to stand against?
I think that's a true statement. We do a bunch of stuff with mental health on this campus. Personally, I'm a Morgan's Message ambassador. And we've done a better job this year with bringing people into like the classrooms and stuff, with getting how they feel on postcards and everything. But in previous years, we have not done that. And I think mental health is like thrown under the carpet, especially with athletes. Like we go through a bunch of different things on and off the field. And sometimes people can present that they aren't battling mental health. So like not doing anything to help it is shown here.
Well, great. I can't push against that. I think I'd like to ask you, from being an ambassador from Morgan's Message, kind of what that experience has been like here in Brevard College since that's been going on, but like how big is that to the Brevard campus, you would say?
So my freshman year, we started off, it was me, Emily, and Cass, 2 previous lacrosse players, and one our assistant coach now. And we didn't do really anything with Morgan's Message. We didn't have a club. We didn't have any like thing going on. Our sophomore year is when we came up with the club idea, but it really didn't pop off until our junior year, when Sophia and Lily Teague and them took over. And now we do monthly meetings, and then there's like some sort of campus-wide event that happens monthly with Morgan's Message and THO.
Mm-hmm.
So to see the progression of it is amazing. And then this year has been like amazing with all the things they do, with Spring Fest, Fall Fest, and all the events they've held. It's come more to light.
And so what in you kind of instilled that effort or that care to even care for a group like that, or even a thought process about mental health? Is there any specific thing you kind of brought that to your attention?
So coming into Brevard, it's a big change. Coming from high school to college. And my freshman year, my dad got diagnosed with cancer. So obviously that took a big toll on me. He was a huge, he's still alive. He is like a huge inspiration to me. And like having that my freshman year, coming in, trying to find friends, deal with lacrosse, mid-season, getting told that, my mental health strike down. So after that, I actually joined Morgan's Message Ambassador Program because she was a lacrosse player. So that drove me to that program more than anything. And so I learned so much about mental health that year and that summer, and not only through like the programs, but about myself. I grew a lot with everything that was thrown at me. So mental health means a lot to me. So hearing that we wanted to incorporate more on campus and everything, I was like, let's do it. Let's get this ball rolling. Let's help people who don't always want to talk about their feelings. Because personally, I'm one to not talk about my feelings.
It's exactly the same.
I hate it. It's just me. I'd rather keep it behind closed doors and deal with it my own. But helping other people is something that I love to do. So it was amazing to see like how many people came out and supported Morgan's Message, even if you're not a part of the lacrosse team.
Well, absolutely amazing. It has been great. You're seeing it grow tremendously here on campus. Me personally, I'm a representative for THO, and it's great to see how they've kind of come together now and doing things on campus. And really, this year, I feel like it's been a really big focus. Morgan's Message kind of being the forerunner. It's great to see how they've come together now, and you're seeing the events just kind of seem to be larger now and more involvement now, because you're not just having lacrosse. I feel lacrosse really was the pusher of Morgan's Message, and it's great now. And you had Lily T, I believe she's soccer, if I'm correct. So it's awesome to see you had those two groups, but like with THO coming out, you're getting more people from different organizations all come together about one message that is really important. So that's really cool. So shout out to y'all for kind of even having that in your mind, because it has to begin somewhere. So it's cool to see that it's starting with students like us and like y'all. So shout out to you. So that's your first opinion. We have four more to go. For this second topic, I have to say, people are more connected than ever, but feel more alone than ever. I think that taps into a little bit about technology and social media. What me and you had a class together last semester, which was the Back to the Future course, which talked a lot about technology and the future stuff. This is kind of one of those conversations.
People are more connected
than ever. Like, we have all this access through technology, all these phones, we're all connected, but at the same time, do you think people feel more alone than ever with all this extra connection?
I think so. Technology and social media has taken like a lot of tolls on people. So you can have friends over the phone, but in public walking, they don't speak to you. I can see that with a lot of freshmen. Like my freshman year, I had a lot of friends over the phone on Snapchat and connecting on Instagram and stuff. But once you got here, it was like, who are you?
Yeah.
So I think people are connected, but if we didn't have a phone, they would not be connected.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, I like that. I'm of the same opinion, and I incorporate some of your reasoning as well. Like, for me personally, I think it's the aspect of a lot of people are in the room by themselves, assuming that they're not alone just because I can send someone a text. But the second I turn my phone over, who is it in that room? It's just me. And so a lot of people are becoming so comfortable with that aspect of saying I can be connected with everybody from the safety of my room, not understanding they're missing out on that interpersonal relationship. And there's just such a difference when you take away that medium. Like this conversation sounds so different over Zoom.
Yeah.
you know? So it's just something different about that because you got the pre-recording of us getting to actually communicate to what happens after. Like, that's so different. And I guess that would be, I'm of the same opinion. It definitely has taken away an aspect of the communication, the personalness, how interpersonal relationships work. So, yeah.
I would love to see like how our parents grew up.
Yes.
I would love to see how this generation would grow up with no phones and having just street lights telling you to come home.
I'm telling you, I have talked to like older people about relationships specifically, and I'm just like, how the heck did y'all do that?
Yeah. I would love to see it and see how many people fail and how many people succeed.
Yeah, I think it would change a lot of people's. But the cool thing though about the afternoon too is how many people are succeeding now because of the fact they don't have to communicate, which is interesting because some people can't communicate. So it's kind of created a medium for those who can't. And so it's like, oh, well, I don't have to. Guess what? I can be in the room by myself and just do my work, that remote work type thing. But then you have people who have to, like the jobs where you have to communicate. You're going to have people our age who are never going to get those opportunities because they never learned those skills. So, which is interesting. But moving on to topic number 3, this one says chasing balance is unrealistic. Something always has to suffer. Do you believe that?
Personally, I do. I saw a quote on TikTok of why is God throwing me all this heavy stuff and making me drown in like a river? And it was basically saying you have to drown because if heavy things can't follow you or something like that. I don't know. I saw it a couple weeks ago, and that stuck with me because for you to balance something, you might have to lose something.
Yes.
So, like this season, we had to lose something to find our balance with our team, which can always be a good thing. Personally, I've lost a bunch of things thinking I would need them, but in the long run, I didn't. And yeah, it hurt in the fact of like it happening, but being balanced is like very helpful for you.
Yes.
So.
Oh, 100%. Because I mean, like, it's just the aspect of what is balance. Like, you have two sides, and it's like if one side is just stacked, I mean, yes, you could shift some things to the other side, but it's like if it doesn't weigh out, one side's gonna tip. So, like, how do you find balance without getting rid of some type of weight? That's just life. And as somebody who I feel extremely busy too often in my time here on campus, I've realized maybe that means I have to take some steps away from certain things. And maybe it's how much access of myself I give to certain things that has to change. Maybe it's not giving any access at all. Maybe it's just taking away what type of access certain things get from me. Because that's time. Everything's time. And time is one of the greatest gifts we have. So it's like you can't waste time, you know. But no, I really am of the same opinion. It sucks though because, you know, you want to be able to do everything.
Yeah.
You know, can't have or do everything in life.
Especially in college.
Yes.
Like balancing school, balancing like athletics and campus life and friendships, relationships, family. Like that's a lot to balance. And sometimes you have to remove friends or remove different clubs and make less time for them just to like balance out your life and not be so stressed.
Yes. For you, like you said, kind of for you and being able to be the most efficient and the best you can be at the things that truly matter. Yeah. That's prioritization, you know? So definitely, I'm fully in the same agreement. Number 4 says, most people don't lack opportunity. They lack discipline and consistency. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Personally, I was taught at a young age to be disciplined.
Yeah.
And take things to the chest, not to the heart. So, like, having an opportunity, you should take it no matter what. And basically, a lot of people are taught different things at the end of the day. Parenting styles are so different all around. Our parenting styles probably growing up were different. But growing up how I was with having like the grit and the hardworking and the discipline brought the opportunities that I have.
Yes.
So I think you have to have discipline to make it somewhere.
No, fully. I think that was one of the questions from the last debate me segment we did was in a reverse way, the question was more based on like the aspect of discipline, the importance of it. So it's cool to kind of hear that you kind of lean heavily or heavier on the discipline aspect, because I do think that a lot of people misunderstand how important that is. I think a lot of my lessons about discipline come from the opportunities I missed out on because of the lack of it. And so growing up, that kind of became a thing where I realized like you have to be more disciplined. And to this day, my worst discipline is when it comes to time management. Terrible at it. Got to get better at it. And that's my biggest lesson I'll be learning going forward. But I definitely am in full agreement. I think the reason I like this question or this topic is the preface of most people, because it's not like an outright statement of all people. You know, it's like, because there definitely are times where some people just are never going to have the same opportunity. But the thing is, you begin to give people opportunity that they have to do something with it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where your discipline comes into, because it's like, what if you have the opportunity, but when the time arises, you weren't disciplined enough to be right there and ready? Mm-hmm. So, but I'm in full agreement with that, 100%. So the last and final one of the day, this is number 5, and it says, success today is judged more by image than reality.
Success today is judged more by image than reality.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hard one. Personally, I think that one is true, because the way you present yourself, once you hit that success, it lives with you. Mm-hmm. So someone could have a bunch of success on and off the field, mainly on the field, but your image could be poor. So I think you get judged a lot on your image and what success brings with that. But reality, I mean, you're living it, so.
Yeah.
You just got to go with the flow with reality.
Like it either is or isn't.
Yeah.
You know? And I think like the best example for me about that is like the aspect of branding and like how brands hold a lot of weight. And so people are buying things specifically based on branding. And so if I own this brand, then that kind of means that I'm a little bit more of an upper echelon. Is that reality though? You know, just because I can afford this one pair of something that might have been like a couple $1,000, you know, does that really mean that I have all that extra excess money laying around, you know?
That's a good way to put it.
And I think that we get so caught up in that aspect of like, okay, cool. So you have all this stuff that makes people believe that you're rich, or, you know, there's certain clothing that signifies wealth. Like back in the day, it would have been purple linen and things like that back in the day. Well, you know, like, does that really mean that persons have wealth, or does that just mean that they're trying to present themselves as such? But it's also that aspect of fake it till you make it. Yeah. So, I mean, that's present too. Like, you have to be able if you want to get there, maybe you have to try and do those things and it'll get you into rooms. Like dressing. Why do we dress nice to go into job interviews? You know?
Yeah.
That might be the only suit that person owns. You know, they might not have had the same education, but you got to look like you did, you know? And so like in life, a lot of this stuff is it's a lot of making an image of yourself. But like sometimes it's better when image and reality can go hand in hand. But it definitely is true, I believe, like in this day and time, especially with just how technology-based we are, where a lot of stuff is like, how do I say this? There's a lot of people online who look better than they really do. And so, and it's like, is that real? No, but who cares? No one's gonna know. Most people never see those people in person, but they'll get the followers, they'll get the views, they'll get the likes because, oh, this person is the best thing since sliced bread. See them in real life, you probably wouldn't know you're walking by that person you just saw on Instagram. So it's all image based here in America and the world now. But that being said, I'm not trying to get too on that topic, but I think it was an interesting question to end off on. Definitely a good one. But now, time, Zan, to get into who Zan Hill is. So we know who you've said you are, but now let's give everybody a chance to kind of figure out, based off of your story and your experience, what they believe and what they'll come to know about you. So you are a young lady from Fort Mill, South Carolina, another South Carolinian. So we finally have a 2-person South Carolinian podcast here, which I'm happy because there's a lot of North Carolinians I talk to. A whole bunch of them. and they think they're the best of Carolina. I don't know how I feel about that. It's not real. When someone says you're going to watching the Carolina game, I think of South Carolina, USC Gamecocks. That's my personal opinion. Are you of the same opinion?
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay, just want to make sure now, because I have to make sure you're not trying to split the state. You are an upstate.
No.
It's a little different. But that being said, tell me a little bit about your experience growing up in Fort Mill. What was that like?
So it was a small town. There was a bunch of land when I grew up, and now it's developed, so it's gotten into a very popular city.
Mm-hmm.
And we only had one high school, or two high schools, and now we have 3 high schools, and I think like 7 middle schools and 10 elementary schools.
Yeah.
So it's grown a lot, and personally, growing up in Fort Mill helped me become who I am. So I was a little girl in a small city that turned into a big city. But the little girl didn't turn into what the girls are there now.
Yes. Eye roll is crazy.
Sorry. But I will say I loved Fort Mill.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm not moving back there.
Okay.
I am staying here because I have found my new home.
Oh, Brevard.
Yes, because of how small it is compared to Fort Mill.
Mm-hmm.
I loved going to Fort Mill High School, but I hated how big it got.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of people transfer in there. A bunch of people leave to go to the new high school that is bigger than this college. So growing up in a small town helped me become who I am. I know a lot of people. I love talking to people. That's why I strive here, is because I'll talk to anyone and everyone. I work at the bakehouse here, and you could come up there and you'd probably see me talk for like 15 minutes to a customer.
Okay.
Just because I love talking to people. So I think growing up there helped me be more comfortable with talking to people and getting those connections.
Well, awesome. Well, tell me a little bit about that young lady who grew up there. What was her dreams and aspirations?
Her dream was to become a teacher like her mom.
Aw. And what
that
happened?
ain't happening now.
Uh-huh.
My dad was a police officer, and my mom was a teacher. So it was a very busy time in our house because my dad would not be there at nights, and my mom would be gone in the day. So I was bouncing between my grandparents just because they were trying to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And in Fort Mill, it was very hard.
Yeah.
It's a very wealthy town,
Mm-hmm.
old money. So the little girl in me wanted to be that teacher. She found out real quick how expensive this little girl was going to be. So she's no longer becoming a teacher.
Yeah.
Or a police officer for that matter. But growing up, I just strive to be like my dad. My mom, love her, but my dad taught me a lot growing up. I wasn't the girly girl that my mom wanted me to be. She wanted me to be a dancer.
Okay. Not
and
the way.
that did not work.
Not at all.
I had 2 left feet. And we found that out at like a little jamboree thing that my mom signed me up for. It was a little jacket camp.
Oh, gosh.
You could pick me out probably from like a mile away. So my dad, he would go hunting and fishing all the time, so I would go with him. I grew up duck hunting, rabbit hunting, deer hunting, all the things, and I loved doing it. So then I wanted to be a game warden.
Okay.
Found out how much they made.
It ain't much?
Mm-mm.
Interesting.
They don't make as much as I would be able to live off of.
Can I ask you real quick how much you believe you would be able to live off of?
Can I deny that question?
You could deny any question.
I really don't know.
We'll ask after.
But yeah, so growing up, like, I was always outdoors and everything, so I became a camp counselor, taught me birth control times 2,
Mm-hmm.
and
Children are a little wild to hang. Yeah.
I was an all-boy counselor, though, at some points. I would much rather do an all-boy counselor and have all boys when I get older. All girls,
It's interesting you say that. I felt very different when I worked with children. But I understand, like, how do I say this? Little boys, like working with them, like in a setting of like having a kid all day. I feel like young men are probably a lot easier.
Yes.
For a few hours, young ladies are a little bit calmer. But I feel like it's when you're their parents, it might be a little different.
It was an overnight camp.
Oh, see, I had 3 hours.
Yeah. See, the little boys, I said, go to bed. They went to bed. Little girls, but we want to stay up, screaming all night, lights out, screaming. I'm like, it is 12 o'clock and y'all are 7 years old. Go to bed.
Yeah, I was knocked out I was knocked out by 8.
Yeah. Well, this is an outdoor camp that went from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m.
That's crazy.
And we were outdoors the whole day. So, you would think they would be tired.
Not at all.
No, it was bad.
Well, you talked a little bit about being the Fort Mill area and about how large it grew and how large your high school was. So talk to me a little bit about your experience at Fort Mill High School.
So we had 2 campuses.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really big. And when I went to high school, I only had 2 friends because I came from a middle school that was not in the area for Fort Mill.
Mm-hmm.
So how Fort Mill is divided is you have Old Fort Mill and you have New Fort Mill with TGK. So it basically split it in half of y'all went to NAFO and half of y'all went to Fort Mill. Before the other high school was built. And then all the lines got messed up. So I lost a lot of friends going into Fort Mill.
Yeah.
So I had to find who I was because, I mean, I was 14 going into high school and there was 18-year-olds. So it's like a huge age gap of people. So the plus about going into Fort Mill was my 8th grade year, I joined the JV team.
Okay.
For lacrosse. So I had already met some people on the varsity team that were upperclassmen that helped me.
Mm-hmm.
If I came in there blind as a rat, I probably would have cried my first day, just because of how big it was.
Yeah.
And how many times I got lost. But thankfully for these varsity girls that were in the hallways at the time, they showed me where I was supposed to go. And like the teachers there were amazing, but I hated how big it was.
Mm-hmm.
Because you knew everybody, but you didn't know everybody.
Yeah, like names, but not you don't know me though.
Like I knew your car, but I don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
Like people would say, "Hey, Zan," I'm like, "I don't know you. Like, who are you?" So like I didn't like that aspect.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, this might be a question later, but that's what drove me here.
Okay, great. That's the next question.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get into it if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah, you can talk about that if you want.
That's what drove me here was like the small aspect.
Yeah.
So my high school, we would have about 45 to 50 people in a class, depending on what class we were taking. Here, I walked into a class and it was 6 people. And I got to build a connection with the professor. While at Fort Mill, I didn't.
Interesting.
It was, they knew you. Yeah. But again, they didn't know you.
Okay. How many people do you think you had in the class, like consistently?
Here?
In Fort Mill.
Like a normal English class, we had, I think it was 28 to 30. So it was like normal, but we didn't have the connections.
Crazy. Okay.
And then also just like nothing would get done in class. Like I would be so like here, there, everywhere.
Yeah.
While here I'm like focused in, I get my work done in class so I don't have to do it after.
Same.
So it's like different. And then also coming here and touring in September of my of my senior year.
Okay.
The people here, they already knew me. Like the previous president, he immediately knew where I was from, what sport I played, what my degree was. I was like, you know me already.
Yeah.
And that was what was different. And that's what drew me here, was like, you had already done the research on me. You had already like come up with these questions of what you're asking me about me, not like a like vague question of like, so why are you coming here?
Like personal.
Yeah, it was personal, and I loved it to the point where I walked into the locker room. I met 2 girls. I looked at Riz and I looked at Roya and I said, I'm committing here.
There we go.
My first ever visit to a college.
You were born to be a Brevardian.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, awesome. Okay, that's cool. So I like how you really detailed that experience. First off, foremost, I had to control myself like 10 times. I really wanted to bring up the aspect of how you brought up the former president. Because obviously I'm only a year behind you, but I didn't know, like, because from getting here, I didn't know that the former president had been there in that time span.
Yeah, so he left, it would have been the summer of, I think it was the summer of my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
So I had committed with him, like met him, all the things, but my freshman year he was not here,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Andrews that took over.
Well, awesome. Well, it's cool. It's good to know that you've been here in between the shifts. So kind of tell me, for you coming in on that shift, has there been much of a difference from your freshman to senior year in terms of like any of the experiences you might have noticed different-wise on campus growth to what was here when you first got here that maybe isn't here and what wasn't here that is here now?
Yeah, so I will say with coming in my freshman year, it was smaller.
Mm.
There wasn't as many people on campus compared to the class sizes that are coming in now, which is amazing to see the school growing, along with the CAF. So obviously the CAF's getting redone, and it's getting like all this new stuff, which
Yeah.
I'm so excited for. And hopefully that brings in a lot more people, because right now probably our CAF and the Ox Gym, people are looking at us like we're crazy.
It's working though, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's working. Yeah, I'm going. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm going to there more now than I've ever been in my life. I love going in there and
yeah, I
get
love
my
how it's right
get
there.
my little sodas. I go and get my little soda and I leave. But I go get my soda.
I love how it's right by where I live.
Yeah.
And I don't gotta walk all the way up here.
There you go.
But I think that is like a big thing that has changed.
Mhm.
We haven't had like a lot of professors come in and out of like programs, especially with the business.
Yes, which has been great.
We haven't had like new professors come in and try to take control
Mhm.
and kind of like get us out of our groove.
Yeah.
Which is nice, because obviously having a new professor coming in is like, what are you about to do to this program?
Mhm.
How do you teach things? How do you do things? Is this going to be a hard class, or what the deal is? But we haven't had that. So I think President Andrews has done a great job
Yep.
with being like in that role, along with his first lady and his 2 daughters. They're adorable. I see them at the Boys and Girls Club almost every day that I go there.
Aw.
When I used to volunteer. So like they're amazing. So I think he's done a great job with everything.
Well, shout out to him in that process.
Yeah.
I just had a meeting with him yesterday for some stuff going on campus. So big shout out. He's been very helpful to us. So I'm super duper excited. But coming in here, you decided, we talked a little bit about this expensive lifestyle that you haven't gotten too in depth about, but we know is clearly there. But you decided to be a Borg major here. So tell me, why is that? What is the end goal with that? And what is that job that's going to help you make all that money that you need?
Oh, that's a great question. So I chose Borg because coming in, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I did not want to go into the criminal justice area. I'm not good with science, so
Me too.
don't call me for any health questions.
Yes.
Because I might tell you the wrong medicine. But it's okay. I mean, I don't know.
The Tylenol situation all over again.
I can tell you Tylenol or ibuprofen
Uh-huh.
or Advil. I got those. But if you start naming those big words, I don't understand what you're saying. You're speaking a different language.
Epinephrine.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh.
But I chose Borg because it was such a broad like major. You can do anything with it. You can go to accounting. You can go to financial advisor, own your own business. A bunch of different things that can happen in that major. And coming in, I owned my own business.
Okay.
For my friend that was diagnosed with cancer, and it was my senior project for DECA.
Yes.
So I went there and I competed and I placed second nationally for my concert or for my like thing. So
Big time.
I came in here with that, and obviously I haven't been able to keep up with that just because of being a student athlete and
Mm.
not having enough room to do all the stuff, because I was making t-shirts in my basement and selling them for her. And so I picked my major because I wanted to continue it after school, but plans have changed.
Okay.
And like I said before, I'm staying here, and I'm actually going back to school and getting my master's here.
Okay.
And getting my master's in the business, organizational with a sports management concentration.
Mm.
So I'll be working with our athletic department as a GA for operations. So I'll be working with Miranda and Riz. So hopefully I'll be able to learn a little bit more about their job.
Yeah.
And maybe become an operations manager somewhere like else, as not like a GA. Gonna love doing this because it's working with Riz. Who wouldn't love working with Riz?
Exactly.
And I think doing that, because I want to still be involved in sports and doing all the things with them. I love sports. I love every sport except soccer. So sorry.
Manuel is our producer here. He's a men's soccer here at Brevard College's keeper. He just jumped up out his chair, did a backflip, and rolled across the floor all when he heard that comment. But he's okay. I think he's fine. He's getting up off the ground now.
I love women's soccer. Men's soccer, I don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand the overdramatic.
Look, Chills, I'm telling you, I've been coming. The coolest thing about Brevard is the fact that it exposed me to so many other sports in terms of being up close and personal, especially working in the media aspect. I've gotten down to sit across from a lot of people. Sat with Nicole Bradbury on the Best Bees Post podcast, and I had spoken to her previously in the same chair you're in now. We had a conversation, so I've learned a lot about different stuff. It's like cycling was one of the newest ones for me too. I had no idea about, but she taught me so much. But it's interesting. Like, I'm in the same boat as you though when it comes down to some of these sports. I'm like, wow, I've never heard anything about this for real. But I mean, that's life. But yeah, you were saying about the whole aspect of the athletics department and stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna be working there, and hopefully that'll be my career.
Yeah.
Is working with sports, just to stay involved with it. Just because I love watching like young adults, especially like your freshman year, you're the scared freshman.
Yeah.
And now like to this right here,
Boom.
I'm like, who is that girl?
Yeah.
Why was she scared? So like to see the development over the years, like I would love to continue to see that.
Well, awesome. Well, I hope that's where you'll end up. Wherever you want to be is where you'll end up, hopefully. It'll support that expensive lifestyle that you got going on there. You go, girl.
I don't have an expensive lifestyle.
Well, hey, I'm quoting what you said, man. That being said, though, something I wanted to ask you that was really interesting. You mentioned some things that weren't sports related that you do here on this campus. Kind of talk to us about your involvement in extracurricular activities outside of sports on this campus.
So obviously I'm Morgan's message ambassador. I'm here and there with the club just because of how busy I am. I have a job off campus. I work on campus for Shirley Arnold.
Shirley.
And Ann. So I'm bouncing back and forth between the post office and student success tutoring and stuff. So I do a lot of involvement with them in campus life. Anyone needs me, I'm there. I'm the person that runs stuff to the other side of campus. And then I have my off campus job at the bakehouse. So I'm usually there at 6 a.m.
My gosh.
And especially during the summer, I got my hours, and nobody be contacting me at 9 p.m. I will be asleep.
That's insane. I respect that. I can't do it.
Because I have to be there at 6 a.m. And open up the coffee shop and deal with customers. But I love my job.
Yeah.
I love working there. It's a fun job that brings me joy. It's not, I have to go to work. It's like I get to go to work and I get to see people that I enjoy seeing.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to continue to work with them because I've been with them since my freshman year.
Oh, I didn't know you've been doing that long.
Yeah, so I took a break my junior year for some things that happened. But I've been back since, and it's like I never left there.
Awesome.
So me telling them, like, hey, I'm staying over the summer, they were like, oh, yes. And I was like, I'm happy to. So I do a lot of stuff off campus as well with volunteering. So I usually work at the College Walk last semester or last year. I worked with College Walk with in the nursing home.
Okay.
So I worked there for a little bit with bringing people food who couldn't come to the cafeteria. And then also just doing some volunteer work with churches and especially up in Asheville with Seacoast. I go up there and I do a lot of like pick up trash days around their campus, and like there's a tea time that they have. So I go up there and I have some tea time with some older women.
Aw.
But it's okay.
What type of tea is it? Is it like
Great
it's
question.
like
I
the?
don't drink it.
You don't drink it? I wonder.
It's hot tea.
Oh, I love hot tea. I wonder if it's like the British one though. It might be like the British.
I think it is English.
Yeah.
The English breakfast one where they have their yeah.
Did you do an accent? I would love to get our English people here in Brevard. We have a whole bunch of people. I would love to hear how they feel about impressions. I try so hard not to do them with them, but even like their names, like this, we have a goalkeeper for men's soccer, Tom. Every time I see him, I'm like, Tom, I always do it. I can't stop myself. It's just a thing. So I understand completely. That just caught me off guard. That was funny.
Again, you never know what's gonna come out.
Yeah, you got it. Just let it go, bro. But yeah, so you seem to do a lot, and you've been involved in stuff. It's stuff that you like to do. I think that's the best part. I tell people all the time, like, I'm extremely busy. But I say I can't complain because I'm busy with things that I love to do. And I think that's the most important thing. So that's great to hear. Now, though, you mentioned that you've been with them since your freshman year. You've also been with women's lacrosse since your freshman year. Again, you kind of mentioned that being the big emphasis on why you came here to Brevard. So it's time to finally talk about the more athletic side of things here at Brevard College. Again, I mentioned to you earlier, we were talking about some of the statistics that we walked through. Last year, you had an absolutely extraordinary junior year. I know a lot of them, the points attributed from your assist category, which came from a really close relationship you had with Emily Denega, who is going. I got to talk to her last year on the Best Bees. Absolutely awesome person to talk to. I really enjoyed that conversation. But obviously, that was a big firepower that y'all lost on the offensive side of things, also just on the field in general. But you played 15 games this year, but 15 games last year as well. You had 17 games your sophomore year. I don't know what that was, but every other year had 15. Did y'all play 2 extra games that sophomore year?
Yes, I don't remember who we played. It was a team from Ohio that we played, and someone else.
Yeah.
We lost them. They were good teams. They were up north teams.
Yeah.
They just wanted to play us, and I think we got paid. I don't really
Oh,
know.
hopefully.
Some teams just come down here just to come down here. So we played 2 extra games my sophomore year.
Okay.
They were hard. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I was like, 1 season with 2 extra games. I said something that was interesting about that season. But 15 games here this last year, these last 2 years. You had 30 goals this year, your senior year, with 47 points. Last year, coming off the junior year, you had 70 points off of 43 goals. Very big year assist-wise. There were 13 more goals, but the points total is a very big number on those 70 points. Talk to me about that junior year season. I know we got a little second to talk about it beforehand, but if you could kind of outline that the same way you did earlier.
So like you said, we lost a powerhouse my senior year. And also just having a bunch of new people on our team. We've had a bunch. So the opportunities that were there our junior year might have not been there our senior year, or like my senior year. So obviously the difference in points is not what I wanted to imagine my senior year would be. But I'm still grateful that I had a senior year because truthfully we didn't know what was going on in the beginning of the year. But I think junior year, I don't know. I think I had a fire under my butt to just prove something. I wanted to beat records. And obviously I did.
Yep.
I had Parker Moore my freshman year who showed me like the records she beat, and I was like, I want to beat one of her records. Like that's my goal in college, is beat it. I don't know why, but it like made me want to. And I think I did last year. And then I just kept going.
Yes.
The balls were like flowing out of my stick, and I was just like, okay, well, I guess I found my passion of being like a assist person,
Mm-hmm.
and like wanting to contribute the points, because I'm not one that want to go to goal. I would rather get it, like the ball to someone else.
Interesting.
And that shows I'm really balanced with my points. Well, not as much this year.
Mm-hmm.
But in the previous 3 years, obviously you can see like I've had 43 goals and like 41 assists.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like really balanced. So I think the big change this year was just the amount of new people we had and having to learn like everyone's skill level and what they could and couldn't do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking to talk to men's lacrosse Gage Kyatt very soon. But there seems to be a very similar trend this last year in terms of the lacrosse programs here, in terms of the amount of new players you all are having. Last year you had a lot. The issue I see for you all in terms of something y'all have had to, an adversity, better way to say than an issue, an adversity y'all had to face was the aspect of always playing with pure numbers. It's not like you had much to pull from the sideline, specifically for the women's program. The men's program this year has had some to pull from because of the influx that they've gotten from other sports kind of filling in. But you all kind of, well, even with new people coming in, are still dealing with those super low numbers. And so kind of talk to me about how you have known since you've been here, like, we're not going to have anyone to really pull from y'all. So we just got to go and play. How has that been?
So my freshman year, we had numbers to pull from.
Yes.
We had 2 subs. It was amazing. Someone got hurt. We had someone to come in for them.
Yes.
Sophomore year, junior year, and this year especially, we had nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Sophomore year, it was like annoying, but like, hey, we'll get some people to come in next year, you know. Junior year came, we had still nobody, and that's when it was like, okay, we have to all put in the work in. We all have to put 100% into this and just push ourselves, because at this point, you got to keep going even if you're hurt,
Mm-hmm.
you're dying on the field, you're tired. So I think for me personally, it was building up the strength to keep going.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be honest, I'm a frustrated, like, you can see the frustration with me on the field.
Yeah.
I don't hide it. I've been told that by numerous people. And my yellow cards speak for themselves at some point.
Yeah.
But I've had to, like, build on the strength of, like, hey, you got to make this 100-yard sprint. You got to do it, because you don't have someone else coming in for you, compared to, like, seeing all these other teams come in and having 8 subs.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to sub in and
Just
out.
running in and out.
And I'm just like, must be nice to have fresh legs coming on this field. But I think next year we have a good recruiting class coming in, from what I've heard. So I'm hoping that they'll have these numbers where they're going to be able to take breaks. Like, I know, Ari, like, your senior year, you are going to be exhausted from personal experience. Like, your body is going to be strained. Like, there's going to be so many muscle cramps that happen on the field.
It's getting old, man.
Yeah.
We're just getting old.
So, like, I know Ari and Maddie and Kyla, they would love to have, well, not Kyla, because we need her in goal, but, like, Maddie and Ari.
That's a
like,
dog right there now. Kyla, just want to take a moment to talk about that. She's been here for you 3 years now, and she's been a great help back there on that goalkeeping side.
Love Buki. Shout out Buki. Love her. Love playing with her. Amazing. Always, like, a fun spirit on the field.
Yeah.
And off the field. But they need people to come in and be able to, like, take off the, okay, maybe I don't have to run 100 yards the whole game. Like, I got thrown into midfield this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that again. I got thrown into midfield this year.
Yeah.
Which was really hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm athletic, but being how beat up I was.
Asking a lot of the body.
Yes.
To do some stuff is a little.
At some points, I thought my body wasn't making it to practice.
Yeah.
Just because of how, like, tired I was. I had to get a rib protector because I was getting beat up so much in there. I lost nerves in my wrist. Like,
that's insane.
I had to deal with my knee and my foot. Like, I was in a boot the last 3 weeks of the season, and I still played. So it was like a lot on my body. So I'm really hoping that next year they bring in a good amount of people for this team.
Well, it'll be my senior year, so I'm super hoping as well because this will be my last chance to get up there in the PA box and yell a little bit. I got to get out there at least twice this year, I think. I was definitely out there. No, I got out there all once for PA. I really enjoyed that game. I got to get out there and do that. That was fun. But that being said, you kind of mentioned the hopes of people coming in for the next year. But this was your senior year, because you're not going to be able to be a part of that team anymore. So I know that's going to be something that you're kind of going through those motions now, realizing the season's been all wrapped up. So having your senior season all wrapped up, looking at the Brevard College program, you have your 4 years here, and there's the years to come. The question I want to ask you is kind of in the direction this program is going. What are some of the things that you're hopeful for with them that you can already see the direction they're going and what you're just hoping they're going to see beyond just people coming in, but where are they headed?
So this year has been a lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
We started off the season strong, and then midway through the season, we lost our coach.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a lot. For a lot of people, there was a lot of emotions that happened, and a lot of crying, some smiles, some laughing. There was just different emotions all around the table. So it took a real big toll on us.
Mm-hmm.
But we had Riz come in and be our head coach for the rest of the season. And it was amazing. She cares a lot about this program.
Yes.
So speaking for the future, she's going to pick the right choice for us. Her and Miranda, obviously losing a coach mid-season is not ideal. But they both have a lot for this program, especially with Riz building this program.
Mm-hmm.
She knows what it's capable of doing. I mean, she coached here, I think it was 7 years.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so she built it from like nothing to something.
Okay.
She stopped coaching my freshman year.
Okay.
After that season. So I think for the future, it holds a lot. I think we have a lot to prove, especially after this season. Our record was not what we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
At all. We lost games that we should have won. We lost people that we should have had on our team midway through the season, like Ari. So we were playing man down. So I think next year is going to be kind of like the revenge year of we need to be who we really are. Like, we made it to playoffs this year, which was amazing. But truthfully, we all didn't think we were.
Mm-hmm.
So I think next year they're going to have a good coach, hopefully. Riz is working her butt off to find someone that wants to put in the time, bring in the girls, recruiting-wise, like, and just care for us, or for them, not us anymore. But I think the future holds a lot for this team. We have a good group of girls right now, and the girls that are coming in, I've heard they're pretty good. So hopefully they're not good enough to beat records like mine, but and Emily, especially Emily's.
Yes.
But I think they are going to do amazing things, and hopefully I'll be there cheering them on, hopefully being a volunteer assistant coach.
Yeah.
And being a part of their program, because I love that program, even though this year was not the year that I thought my senior year would be. But I still have those 3 years behind me that were just, like, amazing. So, yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I have one more year, so I hope to get to see the head start to what begins that. And hopefully you'll be able to stick around to kind of see it through. All that being said, as you graduate and you're getting ready to graduate here, I'm interviewing you now. Today is, I believe, the 2nd. So this will be releasing on who knows what day this will be. But hopefully you've already walked across that stage and gotten your awesome certificate, and you're out in the world now, ready to live life. When you look back on Brevard College, your experience here, athletics to extracurricular to academics, what are some of the lessons Brevard taught you that you believe are going to stick with you and are sticking with you now, just changing you day by day?
So I think the main one is don't judge a book by its cover. But in a way of don't judge people by their covers. I've gone through the same friend group all 4 years, and we've seen how friendships can be here
Yeah.
with it being a small school,
Mm-hmm.
and relationships, how it can be divided very quickly. So I think the friendships here, they've taught me a lot. You meet a lot of people that you never thought you were going to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like a lesson is like come in open-minded
Mm.
and leave open-minded as well.
Wow. Okay.
Because you don't know what you're about to get into. I have no clue what I'm about to get into in a couple weeks working in the athletic department, but I'm going to go in open-minded because things can change in a split second, and you never know what could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also something I live by is like you got to live your life because you don't know when something can happen. And that's something Brevard has taught me as well with previous things that have happened here is that you don't know what could happen, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
Another lesson is go do things. Like, yes, it's a small town. There's not much to do here.
But it's Friday.
Yeah, but like go out and have fun with your friends. Yesterday we were out in the sand volleyball courts, like all hanging out with a big group of people until like midnight. And it was so much fun because there were so many different people that had come to just hang out with their friends outside, and so many different teams and friend groups all coming out. So it was like, go do it. Like, don't sit in your room and be like, well, I wish I would have done this.
Yeah.
I look back now and I'm like, I'm so glad I went out and did this. I'm so glad I took this extra step to go and do stuff with this friend. And I'm grateful that I did, because there's some people that probably are like, I wish I would have done more. But I'm able to say, like, I've done a lot of things over the 4 years I've been here.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Well, I'm glad that you can say that. And that kind of leads into this final question I have for you, actually. I'm glad that you said that for me. As you look back at your decision, which you were very clear, this like in the beginning, the decision is like you knew exactly where you wanted to be. 4 years later, now you've been through the motions. Now you've had the experience with where you decided to go. When you look back, was this the correct decision? And if so, why?
Yes, it was the correct decision for me. I am only 2 hours away from home. Didn't want to be any further.
Mm-hmm.
So having that was also like a place for me to feel more safe, because I could go home if I needed to, and it was only 2 hours. And I think just like the community here is so different.
Yes.
Everyone is so nice, and you don't see that often, especially now. Nowadays, you could go to Charlotte and
You'll have an experience.
yeah, you're going to have an experience no matter where you go. But here, you can go somewhere and you'll have a full-blown conversation with someone that you don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so nice to meet these people because you don't know where your opportunities are going to go.
Mm.
Like, I have opportunities now with nannying, with people that I just talked to at the bakehouse. So I think coming here was a great decision of my own, because I made a name for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the biggest thing is like I'm building my reputation here, not at Fort Mill, where people know me because of my dad being a police officer,
Yes.
or my family was born and raised there. Like, people know me for who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that coming to a small school is amazing, of learning who you truly are without the help of your parents being like on you and staying in your hometown. And I think that's the biggest blessing I've had, is coming here and making my name.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad that's the experience you got. I pray that's the experience a lot more people will have here. And embrace it. I think one thing you should talk about your lesson was the aspect of just people going out and doing things. And I think a lot of people could have those same experiences of making a name for themselves, but you were places where you could make that name. Like, you weren't sitting in your room where there's no one to meet, you know? Yeah. So that's great. That's the experience you got. And I pray a lot more people will listen to that, hear that, and take that on for themselves, because that's what you can have in Brevard and just in life in general. Wherever you go, you have to get out there and do something before you'll ever get to experience something. So that's awesome. That being said, forget I'm here right now. I know you're in an interview with Alex Bolton. I mean, that's cool and everything, and I know this might be the best experience of life and all that. But he's no longer here right now. I want to give you a second because you talked about your father, you talked about your mother, and just these impacts that they've had on you, the great friends that you've made here, and just the people who are helping you have opportunities even here in Brevard that makes you want to stay. If they were all sitting right there and they were that camera, if you just could look at it, what is it that you would want to say to them right now in this moment? I just want to give you that opportunity and just forget I'm here. I'm like a ghost in the wind. What would you say?
So I would first say thank you to my parents for believing me. I know that I have put y'all through a lot growing up and being hard-headed. But y'all have always pushed me to be the person who I am now. To my grandfather and my Nana, love you guys because y'all have not missed a game of mine in the 15 years that I've played, which shows me that y'all will show up for anything. So I thank you for that and making all those long drives. To my aunt, she recently passed away in January of last year. She never missed a game either, and she was someone that I would call if I had a crisis in college, which I had many of those. So I want to say thanks for always coming. To the friends that I've made here, it's amazing to see our friendship build throughout the years and how mature we've all gotten. And I wouldn't trade my friends for anything in the whole entire world. And obviously to my roommate, thanks for putting up with me. I know it was a hard year.
I don't know what that means, but that they know. That's all that matters.
It's been a year.
Well, awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And then I want to say thank you to you for taking the time out your day, first off, coming from work here. That's a big deal. I'm going to finish off. I have a lot of gratitude to give. He's going to finish that. Oh, we almost had a no cutter. Almost didn't have to cut that. That would have been awesome. Boop. Fixed. And walk away. Watch. He's got it. Perfect. I knew it. Well, Zan, I want to say thank you to you for coming from work directly here to come and join me here on this interview. I appreciate you for that, especially because I probably gave you maybe 5 days notice, if even. I really do appreciate that, trying to knock all these out by the end of the year. And I'm glad that I was able to come and get with you. I'm here in your senior year. It's great to have you on, learn a lot about you. That's really great. I appreciate you for debating me today. That was really good. Those are some of my favorite segments. I love the competition games, but I love to hear how other people think as well. I think that is the most important thing is people we can do is just get a dialogue going. So I appreciate you for having more with me. That being said, y'all, this has been number 12 on Women's Lacrosse, Zan Hill, here in her senior season. Thank you so much, Zan. And as always, go Nados.